All right, hello Algebra 1. This is lesson 5.3-2. Sorry, I forgot. Day 2, solving multi-step inequalities. And today we're focusing on in context. So some applications today. We've been building up our application skills, and today you have some more to do today. Your homework is in Delta Math at 5.3-2. And again, finish up anything you're missing this weekend. Just make sure you're staying caught up on stuff. And again, help each other. If you need help, ask your neighbor, because I am sure that a person next to you or nearby can help. So here we go. Example 1, solve the inequality. So you can see we've got some decimals here. I hate decimals, so I have my trusty rusty calculator standing by. So if you want to pause the video and go get a calculator, then feel free to do that, because I will use a calculator today. Here we go. Just like yesterday, we are trying to isolate the variable, but we have grouping symbols, so we need to distribute. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what do we need to distribute? That's right, I heard you. You said we need to distribute the -1. All right, we will do that, distribute. That way we can get rid of those grouping symbols. So we are distributing a -1. And so this -3.4 is just going to hang out here for a second. We have -1 times -x. Negative times negative is positive 1x. Do we need the 1? No. If you just have x, that's fine. -1 times -7.9. Negative times negative is positive. You should never have double signs. One sign, that is all. 1 times 7.9, well, that's just 7.9, is greater than 1. And we need to do some combined like terms. We're going to simplify. We've got this very spread out sort of thing, and we want to see what can we combine here just on the left-hand side. I notice that I have a -3.4 and a positive 7.9. So I'm going to use my trusty rusty calculator, and I am going to type in negative. Now remember, negative is this special button down here. So use that special negative, 3.4, and then a plus 7.9. And that is a positive 4.5. Whoops! Hello, pen. 4.5. And then I have my positive 1x is greater than 1. Now our job is to isolate the x, and so we need to move away anything on the same side. This is the farthest thing away, so we're going to get rid of that. I'm going to subtract 4.5 from both sides. Positive 4.5 and negative 4.5 cancel out, and here I have 1 minus 4.5. It's 1 minus 4.5 is how you read that. If you wanted to, you could think about it as 1 plus a negative 4.5. That would be the same thing. Positive times negative is simply a negative, and you can see we get the same answer. But you just get to read it straight off there. I think it's pretty easy. So that is -3.5. And then, of course, this is a 1x. Do I have to divide by 1? Well, it's not going to change anything, but that is all I need there, 1x, all by itself. So x is greater than -3.5. Let's look at letter B. We have -5.3 is greater than 1 minus 2 times the quantity, -5x minus 1. Again, if you need to pause the video, feel free to do that. Otherwise, we're just going to keep moving right along. All right, again, I have grouping symbols, so I need to distribute. Everything else is just hanging out for a minute. So -5.3 is greater than 1, and now we need to distribute. -2 times -5x. -2 times -5 is positive 10x. Then we have -2 times -1. Negative times negative is positive. 2 times 1 is 2. Again, we can do a little cleanup here. I have a 1 and a 2. A 1 plus 2 is 3. plus a 10x. And again, our job is to isolate x. And so we need to get x by itself, and we need to get rid of this 3 first. So we're going to subtract 3. Positive 3 and negative 3 makes a 0. And here, who wins? They join forces. We get a negative 8.3. And maybe you aren't as confident with decimals as I am. I don't like decimals. Negative 5.3 and a minus 3 is negative 8.3. And again, you can think about it as negative 5.3 plus a negative 3, and you'll get the same answer. Oh, what did I do? Oh, I typed it in wrong. Negative 5.3 plus a negative 3. You are combining, adding things together. In this case, you'd be adding 2 negatives together to get negative 8.3. However you want to think about it, lots of different ways. We have a 10 times x. How do we get rid? How do we break that multiplication? We divide both sides by 10. Do I have to flip the inequality? No, I do not. We are dividing by positive 10, which doesn't change anything. All right, 10 divided by 10 is 1x. And then here I have negative 8.3 divided by 10. What's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen, when we divide by things with a 0? Things get smaller by a decimal point. There we go. That decimal just moves over 1 spot. So we get negative 0.83 there. And again, you're going to want to have to flip this over in Delta Math because they have a leading x in the entry field. So we notice that the point is next to the x. So we want to keep our point pointing towards the x. So negative 0.83. So these are numbers littler than negative 0.83. There you go, folks. Not too shabby. All right, that was the easy stuff. Here we go. Word problems. Example 2. Again, if you want to pause the video and copy down, you don't have to copy down everything. Like the first sentence, we have a group of friends that want to go to the amusement park. Don't really need anything in there, not any information. So let's see what we do have. First of all, they have no more than $110 to spend. Write that down. That's important. No more than $110 to spend on parking and admission. So we have, I'm going to do parking and admission. All right. And so if I'm thinking about this, we have what they're going to spend on parking, their money for parking, and is a plus, their money for admission. And it has to be no more than $110. So what does no more than $110? Well, that means all the money that they're spending cannot be bigger than $110. So at the biggest side, we want it to be 110. Can it equal 110? Yeah, it can equal 110, so we want it to be equal to, possibly. But really, they don't want to spend more than 110. So if they spent 90, that would be less than 110. Or if they spent 95, that would be littler than 110. Or if they spent 109, that would be littler than 110. So let's think about the actual money they want to spend. Okay. They tell us that parking is $19.25. Do they have multiple parking costs? Nope. That's a flat $19.25. It is a flat one-time cost, okay? And their tickets cost $30.25 per person. All right, admission is $30.25 per person. That's really important because that's $30 for every single person. So that has more than one. This is a multiple cost because it depends on the number of people that are going. So we want to write and solve an inequality that can be used to determine X, the number of people who can go to the amusement park. So X represents the number of people. And if we know, if we had one person going, it'd be $30.25 plus parking. If we had two people going, it'd be two of these charges plus parking. If we had three people going, it'd be three of these per person charges plus parking. So we have to multiply by X, which is the number of people. Because it's $30.25 per person times the number of people. So this is our inequality for this problem. So that is the setup right there. It is $19.25 plus 30.25x is less than or equal to 110. Right there is the setup, and now we also have to solve it. So I think you're going to have to write this in. This is your equation that you're solving. And then you also have to actually solve it. So this is the inequality. And we have to solve it. Write and solve an inequality. So this is the inequality, and now we're going to solve it. We have a little wall here, so we're going to start by subtracting 19.25. And again, I'm going to use my calculator. So that leaves me with $30.25 times X is less than or equal to, I'm going to use my calculator, 110 minus 19.25. There we go. And you can see that that is $90.75. And then to get X by itself, I have to divide by 30.25. So those cancel out, leaving X by itself. And then the nice thing is I don't have to retype this number. I can actually just hit divide by, and it takes the previous answer. That's what A and S stands for, the previous answer. And we're going to divide that by 30.25, and we get 3. So that means they can take 3 people and not spend more than $110. And they'll spend exactly $110. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are writing inequality and solving the inequality. So take your time, and again, ask your neighbors if you think you need help. Let's try one more. Example 3. Ella has a points card for a movie theater. All right, she receives 40 points just for signing up. That's important. And again, that is a one-time sign-up fee. That is a one-time earning. One-time. It happens only once. And then she earns, 12.5 points for each visit. All right. That happens multiple times. Because it's for every single visit. If she visits once, she could visit twice, she could visit 3 times, and she's going to get a 12.5 points for every single visit. And then she needs at least 175 points for a free ticket. So we need to write and solve an inequality. All right, well, let's start with this part here, at least 175 points for a free ticket. At least, to me, I always think at the lowest, she needs 175 points. So she has the sign-up points, and she earns points for each visit. She earns 40 sign-up points, and she earns points per visit. And all of these things are making up her total points. So she gets 12.5 points per visit. Well, what do we need to do there? We have to multiply by the number of visits. And look, they're telling us, hey, we want to determine V, the number of visits. that she has. So this is 12.5 per visit times V, which is the number of visits. All right. That's 12.5 if you had one visit, 12.5 for 2 visits, 12.5 for each of 3 visits. So we're going to multiply, divide by visits, and times by visits. So give us the total points. All right, and then we need at least 175 points for a free ticket. So these are all the ways she earns points. And at the lowest, she needs 175. So at the low side, at the little side, she needs 175 points. If she has more than 175 points, or if she has exactly 175 points, then she'll earn a free ticket. But if she had 180 points, she'd get a free ticket. If she had 200 points, she'd get a free ticket because those would be bigger than that 175. So this is our inequality right here. 40 plus 12.5V is greater than or equal to 175. All your problems should be very similar to these. So here is the inequality I believe you'd have to type in. And now we're going to go ahead and solve that inequality. So you can create a little wall if you want. And we need to isolate V. So I'm going to start by subtracting 40. That leaves me with 12.5V is greater than or equal to 175 minus 40 is 135. And then to get V by itself, we're going to divide by 12.5. So I have V is greater than or equal to a number I don't know how to do, and that's what calculators are for. All right, 135 divided by 12.5 is 10.8. So she needs to go at least 10.8 times. That means by her 11th visit, she'll earn a free ticket. But I do think they want the 10.8. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully that works well for you. And again, ask your neighbors for help. And also don't forget there were test corrections. If you've already done your test, you can work on that. And for those of you that still need to take a test, we will take it up when I get back. So we will finish the Unit 4 test when I return, for those of you that were absent. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a great day. Have a great weekend.